Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful recap is finally in for Monday, September 22, 2025. In today's episode, Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, and Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda bond. Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, prepares to tell Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, the truth. Plus, Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, faces a quandary because of Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. Hope stumbles upon Katie in the office at Forrester Creations. The blonde can tell something is wrong, but Katie doesn't want to discuss it. Hope gushes about how wonderful Will and Electra are together. Katie mentions that Will wouldn't do anything to intentionally hurt his girlfriend. At Bill's mansion, he continues debating with Luna about the baby. The patriarch demands she get an abortion and free Willie. Luna refuses and is going to keep the baby. The girl adds that she is going to be with Will for years to come. The man threatens that the pregnancy will end one way or another. The young lady calls him a monster. Bill's been called worse. He will do whatever it takes to protect his children from her. The man adds, "You will never give birth to a Spencer." Bill stops debating to make a phone call. Luna is sleepy and needs a nap. The baby is already taking so much energy from her. The patriarch says that Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, should have let her die. If she had, then Bill wouldn't have to do it. Katie shows up, so Luna hides. Bill says they need to put Luna on lockdown. He won't let her destroy Will's life. Katie thinks it's already too late for that. Will is telling Electra everything right now. At the guest house, Will tells Electra how much he loves her. Electra tries to get him to open up, but he keeps stalling. When Electra talks about how she trusts again because of him, the guilt in his heart is obvious. Electra talks about how nobody and nothing will rip away their love. Will wishes that were true. The young man seems so distraught. Something happened the night of the promotion party, and she deserves to know. At Il Giardino, Lee and Sheila drink as they debate about Luna's baby daddy. The waitress wonders where Bill took Luna. If it were to the police station, they would have heard by now. Lee thinks they should abandon Luna. Sheila thinks they should still support her. The waitress says that Luna respects and loves her. Lee says the only person Luna loves is herself. And perhaps Sheila, the waitress, won't give up on Luna. In fact, she's impressed by Luna's baby scheme. Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful brought a heavy blend of shock, unexpected tenderness, and impossible choices. From the moment the opening credits faded, it was clear this was not going to be a filler day. It was going to be one of those rare episodes where every scene pushed the story forward. The Logan, Forrester, and Spencer families all found themselves at crossroads, and the common threads running through it all were guilt, forgiveness, and the dangerous lure of second chances. The stage was set for unlikely alliances, devastating confessions, and moral dilemmas no character could walk away from unscathed. The camera opened in the hospital break room where Dr. Lee Finnegan, typically the embodiment of control and precision, was staring down at a cup of untouched tea. Across from her sat Sheila Carter, a woman who has haunted her family for years. The tension was suffocating. The air practically hummed with their history. Lee's jaw was clenched, her every muscle tight as though bracing for an attack. Sheila, by contrast, appeared unusually calm, soft-spoken, almost vulnerable. "Sheila, I didn't ask for this chance to sit across from you, but maybe fate decided it was time we talked, woman to woman." "Mother to mother," Lee snapped back, unwilling to let Sheila spin her narrative. "Lee, don't you dare compare us. My life has been about healing and protecting. Yours has been about destroying and taking." But Sheila didn't bite back. Instead, she lowered her gaze, admitting that for years she only knew how to claw her way into people's lives through manipulation. She confessed her jealousy of Lee, her steady career, her family, her respectability. This was not the usual manipulative Sheila. This was someone stripped bare. For the first time, viewers saw Lee hesitate. Her fury didn't vanish, but something in her softened, just enough to listen. As Sheila recounted her endless mistakes with Finn, the camera zoomed in on Lee's conflicted expression. Could she ever allow herself to believe Sheila's remorse was genuine? The moment was powerful, almost surreal. Decades of blood, betrayal, and violence weighed in the silence. By the time the scene ended, Sheila extended her hand across the table, not demanding forgiveness, but asking for a truce, for Finn's sake, for the grandchildren's sake. Lee didn't take the hand. Not yet. But she didn't storm away either. Meanwhile, at Spencer Publications, young Will Spencer was in his father's office, pacing restlessly. Bill, ever the commanding presence, tried to steady his son, but Will was clearly carrying a heavy weight. Will. Dad, I should have said something sooner. I should have told you what I saw. Maybe then none of this would have happened. The guilt in Will's voice was palpable. The storyline has been building toward this for weeks. Whispers that Will witnessed something. A secret he'd been carrying. Now, it seemed the dam was finally breaking. Bill, caught between fatherly concern and executive control, pressed his son gently. Bill, Will, whatever you know, whatever you saw, it's not your burden to carry alone. I need you to trust me. You're not to blame. Tears welled in Will's eyes as he confessed that he'd overheard a heated argument between two major players weeks earlier, an argument that may have sparked the chain of events now engulfing the family. His silence, he believed, had allowed things to spiral out of control. Bill tried to reassure him, but the moment cracked the ruthless Spencer facade. For all his ruthlessness in business, Bill has always had a soft spot for his children. His conflict here was brutal. Protect his son's innocence or face the consequences of the truth Will was about to unload. Later, once Will left the office, Bill sat alone at his desk, staring out at the Los Angeles skyline. His quandary was clear. If he used Will's information, he could protect his family and regain the upper hand in the escalating chaos. But doing so would expose his son, dragging him into the messy adult world of betrayal, crime, and power struggles. The scene was haunting. Bill picked up a framed photo of Will, holding it like it was the most fragile thing in the world. He muttered to himself, Bill, I can fight any battle. I can destroy any enemy. But how do I protect my son from his own guilt? This inner conflict showcased Bill at his most human. He's always been the macho tycoon, the manipulator, the king of Spencer Publications. But here, he was just a father torn between justice and protection. The episode made it clear. Bill is standing on the edge of a cliff. One wrong move could cost him not just his son's trust, but possibly his freedom or reputation as well. Across town, other characters felt the tremors of the day's revelations. Katie Logan sensed something was off when she spoke to Bill on the phone. She demanded answers, reminding him that honesty was the only way to heal their fractured family. Bill, however, remained evasive. Finn was caught in his own emotional turmoil, unaware of how close his mother and Sheila had come to something resembling common ground. His loyalty to Lee has always been unshakable, but the prospect of his adoptive mother and biological mother finding any sliver of peace could rewrite his future. Steffi remained on high alert, her suspicions about Sheila's latest moves growing. If she discovered Lee was even considering extending grace to Sheila, it could ignite another war between the Forrester and Finnegan households. Back in the hospital, Sheila sat alone after her conversation with Lee. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to hope. She clutched a locket with Finn's photo inside and whispered, Sheila, maybe, just maybe, I can still be part of their lives. If Lee sees me differently, then maybe Steffi will too. Of course, longtime viewers know better. Sheila's hope is a ticking time bomb. Even if her remorse is genuine, her history is too bloody to be erased with one heartfelt conversation. And if Lee were to crack and give her an inch, Sheila would surely take a mile. The episode deliberately left the audience wondering, is Sheila truly changing? Or is this yet another calculated step in her endless game of survival? In a quieter moment, Will retreated to his room, where Katie found him sitting on the bed with his head in his hands. When she pressed him, Will finally broke. confessing the details of what he'd overheard. A secret that implicated not only Sheila, but another unexpected player. Katie's face drained of color. She pulled Will into her arms, whispering assurances, but the damage was done. The child's innocence had been fractured. What made the scene devastating was Will's repeated line. "Will, if I'd told you sooner, none of this would be happening." The writers leaned heavily into the theme of guilt, how it poisons even the youngest hearts. Katie promised him they'd fix everything, but her eyes told a different story. She knew the truth Will carried could shatter lives. The episode closed with 3 intercut scenes, Sheila staring at her reflection, whispering, "Lee will see. They'll all see. I can be better." Lee standing in a hospital corridor, visibly shaken, clutching the teacup Sheila left behind as though it carried the weight of their uneasy truce. Bill pouring himself a drink, gripping the glass tightly, muttering, "If the truth comes out, it won't just be Sheila who pays. It'll be all of us." The final shot was of Bill's face, haunted, determined, and completely unsure of his next move. This episode thrived on emotional complexity rather than shock value. At its core, it was about impossible bonds. Motherhood. Sheila and Lee's scene was groundbreaking. Their mutual pain over Finn forced them to consider each other not as enemies, but as 2 women bound by love for the same son. Guilt. Will's storyline reminds viewers that even the youngest characters aren't immune from the fallout of adult chaos. His innocence has been shattered, and the guilt he carries may shape his character for years. Quandary. Bill's moral dilemma highlights the blurred lines between business, family, and survival. For once, he isn't scheming against rivals, but fighting for his son's soul. Monday, September 22nd, wasn't about explosions or weddings or deaths. It was about the quieter, more devastating battles of conscience. Sheila seeking connection, Lee debating forgiveness, Will crumbling under guilt, and Bill paralyzed by a father's impossible choice. This was character-driven drama at its finest. As the week unfolds, viewers can expect these threads to collide in ways that leave no family untouched. Will Lee truly soften toward Sheila? Will Will's secret destroy or save the Spencers? And can Bill navigate his way through this moral labyrinth without sacrificing the very people he's desperate to protect? One thing is certain, this episode has shifted the game, and the consequences will ripple through Los Angeles for weeks to come. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and Beautiful Update YouTube channel for more update news.